Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. We need to wait for some time.
Better, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
आज 2 लॉग इन केलेत का तुम्ही?
हो सर.
ओके. Yes, Mr. Karan Verma.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. You raise your hand.
Yes, sir. Sir, where I can get the recorded lectures?
IPA office.
IP officer, sir, at the 6th September, that was my first class of that, so I can't get it. What you have said, IP officer means
Indian Plastic Institute office.
Office.
Yeah.
It's a website.
No. I mean, you can contact Indian Plastic Institute Andheri office to Mr. Sandeep Shinde.
Okay.
He will coordinate.
Okay, sir. Thank
Probably
you.
he has already said that he will be sending the recorded lectures once the session on this complete things will be done.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. There are 22.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Sudeep, can we start?
Yes, sir. Better. Please, sir.
Now it's 21.
Yes.
Yeah, few more maybe.
6:45. It's
Yeah,
already 6:45.
already 6:42. Or if you feel so to be wait for a minute or two, we can do so. So at least people will not miss on it. That's it. My
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
good evening. We'll now start, I think so, because now a few more may join as on when they will.
Yes, sir.
Okay. End of the day, it is sometimes difficult for people to join. For me also, I mean, I start at 9 a.m. in my office time. So anyway, so back to work. Sonic asked me if I recollect rightly, some names of compatibilizer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the compatibilizers names Sonics are like in polyethylene, if you want to use it, like Optim, OPTIM, Optim E. For polypropylene, it becomes Optim P. Then for PET, someone needs to use it, then it is Optipet. So such kind of names, I mean, rather, these are the names which are being widely used as a compatibilizers. There are certain multinational companies also, those who are making it and compatibilizers, like Fusabond and acrylic acid based and all. It's the Fusabond series is very famous. So that way, these are the brand names of compatibilizers, which you can easily search through, and you will come to know a mechanism also by which you can use it, this material. So Sonic, I think so. This information is at least good enough at this time to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So what will this Optim do?
Optim E is for the material in which you supposed to use it are polyethylene based systems if you are working on. And if you need to use it and compatibilizer, so Optim E. If you are using polypropylene, then Optim P, and people, those who are using it and PET, which is Optipet, are the maleic anhydride grafted compatibilizers. And acrylic acid based compatibilizers are Fusabond, Fusabond, Fusabond. So these are the commercial names of brand names of the compatibilizer which are being used in polyethylene and polypropylene based systems. So back to our class, we have discussed yesterday related to an polymer blends and alloy. The one part which we left out from that is a composite. So we'll discuss it onto a composite, and then time permits, we'll go with the flow properties. So first is like a composite part, which we are going to start, or which I'm going to share with you. So hope you got it, slides, or you could able to see the PPT which I've shared.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So we'll be discussing on polymer composite today, polymer blends, which we have discussed, and few of the questions were there related to when we call it as a composite. I think if I have not wrong, Mr. Kishore has asked me related to the composite part, like when we call it as a composite and when the system we call it as a blend. So the basic difference between, so accordingly I've made it and corrections into certain slides for today, because I've generally make it on the basis of what we discussed and what I supposed to percolate to on the basis of past discussion. That's why I have added a phrase where you people can get your doubt clear. What is the difference between the blends and the composite? Is that the two main constituents in the composite remains recognizable, while these may not be recognizable in the blends. What it means? The terminology has been used this way, but when the two polymeric systems you are mixing together and get it merged, then that merging in terms of the melting process where both the materials get melt and form together. So there won't be any single recognition of any material. It becomes the combination of these two is called it as a blend. Whereas in composites, though it is also a mixture of a two, but one ingredient out of this will keep it as it is. There, it is generally a non-melting material, and which you merge with the melting material, and the melting and non-melting material merging together forms a product which you call it as a composite. So composite, technically what you can define as, it consists of two or more chemically and physically different phases separated by a distinct interface. What it means, certain composites are chemically bonded, like you are adding certain chemicals which is bonding a one material to another material, which is a chemically bonded material, and certain materials or certain products in which there is just a physical mixing. You are using one of the material as a physical mixture to another one. For example, you are adding certain feelers, certain fibers, where you are physically mixing that material from one end to another end, where you are only increasing the strength of the material. So that becomes your physically different phase or physically mixed material. Chemically means there are a chemically reacted composite. Chemically reacted composite is like one polymer to another polymer is chemically bond. It has been chemically fused. Like there is a chemical reaction between a one part to another part, and due to which the bonding is happening because of the chemical bond happened in between these two. And out of these two, if you see it, the chemically bonded materials are more stronger because it is been chemically attached to each other like an adhesive part. And another one is just mixing a one material to another material. Generally, a more functionalized property which you can get it into a chemically bonded composite, but chemically bonded composites are not being a great importance into all sorts of application where you need to have a very niche area in which your strength requirement are significantly high. Still, you need to use it a polymeric material. Then you are being chemically bonded one polymer to another polymer, by which though the body is a plastic, but it has an extraordinary strength. So composite type may be a chemically bonded composite or a physically bonded composite. So this is something which is we are going to discuss it on the basis of composite part is concerned. So first of all, your doubt onto an blends and composite must have been removed now, because in the blends you are melting both the material mixing together. In composite, one of the material keep its identity intact in that product. So then you call it as a composite. That's why when you added a filler and all, which we call it upon filled plastics and all that way, and certain composites can be overlap phase for this, whereas the two plastics material mixed together becomes the blend. And that composite may be a physically bonded composite or a chemically bonded composite. So is this clear to every one of you? Like what's the difference between blend and the composite, and which two types of composite will be? Any doubt on understanding or any difficulty on blends and composite difference? Anybody has any doubt, please do ask me. Otherwise, we can move forward. Yes, Mr. Soni.
Sir, you said that while mixing one material and a filler, then you said that two material mixing together, it is called a blend, and one material and another like if it is a filler, then filler keeps its identity intact, right? So does filler does not melt with the material?
Yes, fillers are non-melting material in the plastic system. I do agree. I do endorse what you said is like there is non-melting materials are fillers. So fillers are generally a mineral-based material like calcium carbonate, tal, barites. These are the material which are act as a filler.
Okay,
So it
okay,
is
sir.
non-melting. So you can
Okay.
easily locate the things. It is non-melting.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and the two ways by which you can form the composite which we have talked about, one is a physical and chemical, is like a chemically bonding, so chemical reaction between, though it is a non-melting material, but you can chemically bond that material with a plastic. And another one is like you are just dispersing one material to a plastic body and becomes a composite. So physically bonded composites and chemically bonded composites. Chemically bonded composites are more stronger. Okay, and don't worry, I have made it a pictorial format today more, because certain terminologies which will be using it, where if you can collect or you can connect to an day-to-day examples, you will be more interested to know further to it. So generally, what examples are which are naturally occurred. Composites is not something which is a man-made base systems, and the composite not been available. It is all are man-made. The human being have formed a composite quite a later, but naturally occurring materials are being formed into a composite part. Like wood, which is into an cellulose plus lignin. Lignin is one of the chemical class into the cellulose, which binds the cellulose together. But this kind of material is also has a composite structure. So whenever you have a brick structure, that is also a composite wall structure. So you have a strengthening, you do it by putting it in two different mixtures together and to form a composite. Then a human muscles, human bones are also a composite bodies. So composite is not something which is like we are been knowing first time. Nature is producing composite day in, day out, and since centuries ago, the things are in existence. Only related to the plastics or the material, we are making it newly on the basis of our requirement. We customized it, which material to be added and how it should be and how much it should be. So that way, like nothing great like into and composites. And one example which are been noticed here, it's the tires. Tires which we all know, it has a fiber and the rubber, or it has a metal wire and a rubber. So that kind of material is also, you can call it as a composite part. So though it is a rubber and a metal composite, or rubber or a fiber composite, so that is a commercial example. Even you can vouch through, and then you can relate it like how we are discussing related to the composite part. Okay. Now, how any composite can be made? I mean, you people may be into, and few of them may be into a thermoset industry or connects to an thermoset industry or no. Have people are into a thermoset industry in your class or no?
Sir, we are using SMC, DMC.
Oh, okay, Mr. Nilay. So you are using the SMC and DMC. For which application?
Then PF also. PF. Blue melamine. These are the materials.
Okay, okay, Mr. Nilay, which application you are using CMC and DMC based material?
DMC, we are using it for electrical contactors, shell body of that.
Okay. Okay. So CMC, DMC and all you are using it. So you can relate the composite and today's lecture very close to you probably, because you have been doing it that part.
Right.
So any composite has a constituents, only two, which may be, two or three, whatever it may be the addition of, but it will be in the class of reinforcement. One part you take it from the reinforcement action, and another part you take it as a matrix option. The matrix word is like the whatever the phase which is continuous, like you are using a plastic in which you are putting it a glass fiber or you are putting it on some kinds of glass roving. So the matrix becomes your plastics, which is a continuous phase, and reinforcement becomes your glass fiber. So it has a reinforcement. That reinforcement might be a discontinuous format, a stronger format, or a harder format. What I mean to say, the discontinuous format is like you are using it and certain feelers at the loading to make it an reinforcement. So individual particles get dispersed into a plastic. That becomes your discontinuous type of reinforcement. Stronger type of reinforcement is like you are putting it on glass fiber rovings basically. Like you are putting it on continuous glass fiber or glass fiber rovings to make it a plastic harder or make it a plastic stronger or stiffer. So that becomes the stronger type of reinforcement. Whereas there are certain harder reinforcement, like you are putting it a metal mesh, you are putting it an a metal inserts, you are putting it an a graphite powder. So that way it becomes a harder type of reinforcement, putting it into a plastic body. So reinforcement will be of the different types, and the continuous format is the plastic part or a resin part. When you talked about thermoplastics, you are talking about the plastics in terms of polyethylene, polypropylene, PET, polycarbonate, or whatever. And in matrix, you are doing it in thermoset, you are talking about the resins like epoxy, polyesters, then melamine formaldehyde, phenol formaldehyde, so on and so forth. So that way, like a resin which is acting like a continuous part. So what are the function which any reinforcement, this reinforcement, whichever type of reinforcement you use it, what it's supposed to work or what is its function into a composite? So one question which it easily hits to any one of us is like, why we want to make it a composite, though we are making it a blend. If one polymer is not able to achieve a property, what we have discussed yesterday, the requirement of the property could not able to achieve, so we make it a blend. So we have a choice of making a blend. Then what made us think to make a composite? Why we are making it a composite? Anyone can throw some light onto this?
To improve mechanical properties, sir.
Okay, Mr. Mithu. So one is like to improve a mechanical property. But Mr. Mithu Prasad, if you wish to increase the mechanical property, then you can make it a blend with some another polymer. If you add it into that, you can enhance the property. If I'm not wrong, I think so. Yesterday, Ms. Rupali has said related to some increment into mechanical property by addition.
No, sir, I didn't.
No. What I've said, sir, I mean, probably you or someone has said related to the mechanical property enhancement by polymer blend, and then we have discussed like how we can increase the mechanical property. So when Mr. Mithu Prasad has said you need to increase the mechanical property and that's why you do the composite. So you have already a one way, which is a blending. So still you have a requirement of the composite. So when you can make it your product, which is out of a composite, why not? It is not from the blend.
Is it a limitation of a blending process? More
Very
than-
good, Mr. Kishore. One part is like many a times it is the limitation of a blending process, because it's a very good thought. You are putting it on some kinds of continuous reinforcement. If you want to add it, it adds a limitation of a blending, because you can crack the continuity. Because if you do it by some process, by that way you may crack the continuity of the reinforcement. So I do agree. A right set of answer. One is a drawback, like in terms of processing is concerned. So you do the composite. Excellent answer onto this one part. Then I do focus it onto what Mr. Mithu Prasad has said. Definitely, you increase the mechanical property. I'm not saying you are not going to increase the mechanical property, but here only what I wish to add is the improvement of mechanical property, which is not feasible with the blend. You can increase a mechanical property of a blend like adding another material which has a higher mechanical property. Whereas if your requirement of the mechanical properties are significantly high, which is above any mechanical properties of the individual plastics, then it made us think to form the blend from the composite. Because if I'm adding it and a one polymer which has a higher mechanical property, but it is a class of a plastic, right? So it is a class of a plastic. One is having a one mechanical property range is a 10 megapascal, suppose as in tensile, and my requirement is 80 to 90 to reach. Then I can add it in another polymer which maybe have the 40, 50. So collectively I may not reach to an 80 or 90. So what I can do, I can only make it by putting it the reinforcement. So significantly high requirement in mechanical properties will give you option of composite. Yes, Mr. Karan.
Sir, to decrease the RMC, because if there is some material like immiscible but it is compatible, then we are mixing the compatibilizer. So for doing this, and the cost of the RMC is very increased. That's why we use the composite.
Yes, some of the times increasing in the RMC because you are adding another polymer, though it is not been a completely miscible or compatible. So you add it as an compatibilizer. So your total RM cost get increased, and then rather than you can always replace it by a cheaper reinforcement material. I do agree. That is like one thinking process in commercial angle. You might have thought it in terms of that. So definitely, yes, you can go with the composite manufacturing. Only one part, if you can edit a fabrication cost or the processing cost of the composite, in terms of the time requirement, you may not save it a bomb. You may not save it a bomb. You may be a marginally near or marginally low in terms of the cost, but yes, certain application definitely where you are adding it and a specialty type of polymer which is exorbitantly high cost. So there, rather than putting it on certain composite part like a reinforcement, you can make through. I do agree. Yes. Anything else? Okay. So one, as we have already said, a load carrying means the significantly high improvement if you need it into a load bearing capacity, which tends to be called as a mechanical properties, and the transport the strength to a polymer. So like the third one, if you see it, the gist of making it a composite as compared to blend is that whenever there is a load exposed onto a composite material, a reinforcement which you have used, it transfers that stress, or transfers that load onto a continuous matrix, because both are distinctly away. It is not mixed to form a one phase type like a blend, or maybe a melt mix and form it. So though you apply a load onto it and it has a certain buckling, so in that case, the stress or the load which you added onto this, the reinforcement which is a fibers which percolates or which pierces that stress to the matrix, and the matrix is a continuous part, so your stress will be dissipated faster. It will be onto a larger surface area of the stress will be relaxed. So the total load bearing capacity of that material will enhanced. Am I clear onto this, or should I explain it one more time onto the stress relaxation, stress dissipation?
Sir, is it that this compounding process, the material becomes more homogeneous than blending? Is it so?
Mr. Kishore, that way, if you see it in homogeneity, if you have the compatible system in the blend, it is more homogeneous as compared to composite. Composite, one of the ingredient which is a reinforcement, it is having its own identity, so it will not mix with it. So there is no much of homogeneity. But as there is no homogeneity, that is the advantage of the load bearing. Because if there is a homogeneous one, like one single example which I can give you is like, you have a plastic film. You have a plastic film in which you apply certain force. So at angle, it tears or it aparts. So once you apply a force, it starts tearing, it starts aparting to each other. But if you have a mesh next to that plastic, and then if you tear it, in that way, your tearing is not easy because mesh is a network structure. It is not allowing that force to percolate easily. The force which will percolate onto the mesh from one to another, by that way, like it is the distribution of the force, it has a wider angle. So due to which more amount of stress you require to tear it out. For example, yesterday we talked to, we were talking about the product, I think so, by Pallavi ma'am or somebody, Pallavi ma'am probably, related to the raffia. Yeah. So in the raffia or some lamination, what you do, you make it a wave or a warp pattern and then you laminate it. So in lamination, what you do, the reinforcement action, you laminate, so the stress bearing or load bearing capacity of the total gunny bag will also increase. One is you do the lamination or a liner, like not to leak a finer material outside and all that way. That is definitely a mandatory requirement to use it, but due to which you will get it. And one more advantage is because of the strength of the total material, total product will also increase. So though it is not a homogeneous, and non-homogeneity only makes it that material more tolerable against the load. Am I clear, Mr. Kishore, onto this?
Yes, I understood. Yes. Thank you.
So if you understood onto a Y composite and what are the constituents of the composite, then we'll go with a constituents, right? What are the function of it? We have seen it, the function of a reinforcement, the reinforcement which you added to. Now we'll see the function of the matrix. So function of the matrix is like you hold the fibers together, or like you are putting it a glass fiber to some resin or some plastic. Then the matrix or the plastic which binds this fiber together, that fibers get coated with the plastics and it will bind, it will bound through. So that is like holding of reinforcement. Fiber is the one part, but holding of reinforcement is a one function that matrix supposed to do. Second is like to protect the fiber from an environment. How it is, like if it is a fiber or any reinforcement which is just dispersed or just make it, and you have not coated with any resin or any impregnation, first is like you cannot hold them tightly, one part, and it will be directly exposed to the open atmosphere. And this material may, due to the hardness of this material, reinforcement is you get it from the harder material. So in that case, you will get a more wear and tear. So to avoid that environmental impact onto it, this matrix or the plastics or a resin you utilized. Then the abrasion, which is again related to, this is a cascading one. The abrasion you minimize because of the environmental impact is less, the abrasion will also be less. And the distribution of the fiber we have just discussed upon. Load evenly, we have just discussed upon related to why you need to have it and not homogeneity and due to which you will get it. And certain material structure component, the transfer strength to a laminar impact strength, which will be transfer strength means the strength into a machine direction or into an application direction in a blend, it will be a collective effort. It will be whatever the total product strength in that direction will remain same. Whereas in composite, as it is a fiber dispersed into, certain fibers will be into this direction, certain may be into a transverse direction, which is transverse is nothing but in the perpendicular direction. So due to which, whenever you stretch the material, but that time the perpendicular fibers will stop that stretching or required, slower down that stretching. So your tensile strength or mechanical properties enhancement will be there. And the matrix is like give the exact or nice finish to a product. So whenever you apply any reinforcement and if you coat it with the resin by using a CMC, DMC, FRP laminates or thermoplastic composites, but due to matrix, you are going to get a right set of a finish to the product. So these are the function of any matrix to be performed in composite and the function to be performed by reinforcement that we have just now discussed on. So function wise, you know, there is a one reinforcement, there is a one matrix, and individual constituents has individual functions to do. What reinforcement supposed to do is like the reinforcement to be given and the load bearing capacity to be increased, where the matrix will give you the holding of reinforcement, avoid the environmental resistance, environmental impacts, only give the resistance to it, and the transverse direction like the service direction or the machine direction will not be only having a strength, it have a multi-directional strength. So this is the function to be performed by a constituents like a reinforcement and the filler. Now, which all reinforcement can be used in plastic industry? Reinforcement in civil industry use it are metal mesh, metal gauge, many other. Then the textile industries as with the cellulose and the fibers. Then all other industries having their own performance to do it. Overall in plastic industry, which all fibers as a reinforcement which we can use it for reinforcement? A mineral-based fibers are the type C are widely being used like a glass wool, glass fiber, mineral wool, asbestos, basalt. These are the material-based fibers are widely used. The pocket C is been a more significantly used in plastic industry. Whereas considering the today's world, which is more curious, more serious about an environmental impact onto it, the more eco-friendly nature of a product. So it has a certain drawbacks. It has a certain drawbacks. Certain plastics, if you are using it and making the composite and the matrix body is a biodegradable, but if you are putting it a glass fiber or some other reinforcement which is non-biodegradable, so ultimately your product is not a completely biodegradable product. So you have a certain other class of fibers available even onto the commercial basis now to be used into certain applications in thermoplastics and thermosets, and certain are from animal fibers, but the requirement of the polymer industry is quite high. So all the time it won't be possible to use it, but certain pharma-based applications and all, we are been recommending certain animal-based fibers composite, but vegetable fibers composites are now is being used very common. Jute fiber, sisal fiber, bamboo fiber, sugarcane bagasse, banana fiber, a coir, kapok, a neef. You name it, and there are a certain fibers available from the natural resources and you can utilize it. Only thing is like definitely the glass has an extraordinary strength, but it has a complete non-biodegradability. And one more issue with the glass fiber, mineral wool, asbestos, basalt is like you won't be, it has a certain toxicological impact onto it. It has a certain a skin irritation and all other issues to it. While manufacturing also, if you see it in glass fiber, it will give you a skin irritation, a redness, red patches on a skin and all. Many things may it has been observed rather. Whereas in vegetable fibers are from natural resources, these are a very safe, peelable material to be used. Considering, forget about this part, it is very niche application, specifically in biomedical applications and all, it is being used. But all otherwise, if you want to compare it, the vegetable fibers with the mineral fibers, on the strength basis, definitely you are going to get it a good strength on mineral fibers, but there are use of vegetable fibers too. But what might be a certain drawbacks or certain things which you feel so in vegetable based fibers creates ore and mineral fibers. The mineral fibers is good in that sense as compared to vegetable fiber. What might be that issue with the vegetable fibers? Can anyone say about it? What kinds of difficulty you may face in vegetable fibers or and mineral fibers?
Long-term sustainability.
Good, Mr. Sonic. It's like a long-term sustainability. One is like in vegetable fibers, the long-term sustainability will not be there. Why you thought it this way?
Because I have studied a bit in biodegradable polymers.
Good.
So in that I have found that it has a long-term sustainability. Like it can be used till 6 months to 1 year. After that, it itself get degraded in a natural environment.
Oh, great. Like one part is like it has a biodegradability issue. So though it is a uniqueness, but it don't have a aging, a long-term aging. You have an aging effect onto this. One part. Yes, Mr. Swami. Good. Yes. Anyone else in the class feel so like you need to think about if you are using it in vegetable based fibers?
Sir, adding fiber, one is strength, second is dimensional stability, and third is temperature stability, sir. These three factors I generally consider, sir.
Great, Mr. Mithukun Prasad. One is like definitely a strength, which we all discussed. Another is a dimensional stability because it is a natural occurring material. So at the source, what it got built up, accordingly, you will get it that denier or you get it that kinds of dimension of that fiber. Whereas this is a manufactured fibers, so definitely you will get it as a better dimensional stability. Yes. And the third one is what you said, the temperature or thermal stability. So though the natural fibers, but natural fibers is from trees or a trunk, and that way you picked up these fibers are. So these fibers don't have a good heat stability or temperature stability. If you are processing certain plastics, which is beyond its charring or beyond its degradation, it has a great disadvantage. Like you cannot use it on vegetable fibers. Suppose you want to make it an reinforcement to some thermoplastics material even so, and its processing temperature is like 400 plus. So probably these fibers will burnt off. It may not go along as a reinforcement to this material. You are not using at its fiber. You may be converting this into a char. So that is the greatest difficulty of utilizing these vegetable fibers with certain plastics material because of its heat stability. And definitely, yes, as an dimensional stability. And one more addition which I want to add it to Mr. Mithu Prasad's answer, because really good as a heat stability, you resolved my what worry onto it, like to explain it more. And one just addition to this is nothing but these fibers which are a naturally occurring or natural resources based material, it has a tendency to absorb the moisture. It has a tendency to absorb the water. So if you want to use it, you need to dry it, and then at the dry format you use it. If your material is having a water component more, these fibers may absorb some water molecule in terms of moisture from the chemical itself or from outside, and due to which its strength may not come to the range which you are been targeting for. So definitely, yes, the most important, the crucial or the pivotal point is nothing but a heat stability of that material is very low as compared to mineral based. Dimension stability is not that uniform as like your a mineral based fiber. And the last one is like the moisture content of this material. The moisture content, suppose the jute, if jute collected from a geographical location in the country, it has a different moisture content than that of the another geographical location. So you may not have that constant input to it, and then definitely a process intensification will be always an issue while processing it. So I'm really happy to know the answers and the logic fit on it, and I think so.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
fire retardancy also we can achieve through mineral.
Yes,
Mineral
the
fiber.
fire retardancy is also one property which you won't get it with vegetable fibers, but there are certain chemical treatments available and which are being known chemical treatment by which you enhances its fire retardancy. Definitely you won't get it like mineral fibers. You won't get it like a fire resistance to this material, but the fire retardancy which you can increase by coating certain chemicals or soaking certain chemicals in these fibers to enhance it. So now that drawback you can overcome 70-80% by some treatments. That's why now it cannot be considered as a great difficulty of utilizing the vegetable based resources.
Also, sir, processing and very difficult with any natural fibers.
Yes. So processing is a difficult because what Mr. Mithu Prasad has just mentioned, the heat stability is quite a low. Dimension stability is not that uniform. So definitely the input mass which you are putting it's into a variation. So your processing difficulty is going to occur. So that is quite associated one. Yeah.
Also very expensive, sir.
There is
Also processing cost is very expensive.
Yeah, the processing cost is expensive because one is a natural based fiber. So you need to, I mean, definitely you have to resource it from that location, particularly when you need to have, then you have to dry it up and each cost will add to its RM. So when the natural fibers comes at its commercial cost, it reaches quite, I mean, the higher the cost than that of the mineral fibers. So though it has abundantly used like your cellulose, jute and all, and the bamboo, but these fibers, after getting a certain treatments, like what Mr. Kishore has said just now related to the fire retardancy. So if you do it all this treatment to make it more similar to a mineral fibers, the cost becomes higher. I do agree.
Also, sir, presently some persons using paddy husk. Paddy husk.
Paddy husk and particulate fibers, which we are anyway discuss it on, that husk is different than that of these fibers. Though it is also naturally occurring, people are using a rice husk. People are using, and many different husks are being used, but these are the particulate reinforcement. Will come once we finish it off the fibers. But yes, the certain husk-based material, which is the powdered format materials, are being used. So natural polymer composite is like been, as I have said, there are a niche material, a niche application where it has been used because it has a great bio demand, a more biocompatibility, and that way it are being used into a pharma application well because the biocompatibility is good. Whereas a dispersed phase, which we have talked about, so certain composite matrix which we are going to discuss now is on the basis of, again, a matrix like a polymer matrix composite. When you are adding it and polymer to an resin, so it becomes PMC. So what we are been dealing with in polymer industry is nothing but an PMCs, which is a polymer matrix composite. We are not making it an MMC, which is metal matrix composite and ceramic matrix composite. So polymer matrix composite, which we call as a polymer composite, then you can utilize a thermoset, thermoplastics and rubber, what we have talked about. Then in composite, in reinforcement, what you just now open the subject, it's related to a husk and all. So you have a particle based reinforcement, like a husk, like a feeler, like a graphite powder, a basalt based material. I mean, a many mineral based product, which is into a particle format, a single a particle format, which also call it as a composite format. Wherever you are using it a fiber, so you call it a fiber reinforced, particle reinforced, and a structural part. The structural part is like you are making it on one film, then you are sticking it one film to another film, or you are sticking one plate to another plate and making one as a laminated portion, or making it that as a composite. So that is called as a structural composite. So composite may be a particle type composite, fiber type of composite, or a structural based of composite. So how fibers, we have seen it till time, how the fiber based composites is worked on. Now particle based composite. So particle based composite is like you are using polyethylene or any plastic PP or PE or HDP or PET. There you are adding certain filler or certain reinforcing material and disperse uniformly throughout the surface, becomes your particle composite. So that what you can do, you can, as we have discussed it, into a fibers type. That we have discussed it like a laminate type. This you can do it like a fabric type, like a complete mesh of a fabric you can add it. The whiskers and short fibers are again a particulate type, but the particle from the mineral, you generally call it as a discontinuous reinforcement to a polymer composite. And advantage of these all three types, whether you make it a particle based, fiber based, or a structural based, you are bound to get it and strength increase, stiffness increase, fracture resistance like a cracking, abrasion, impact, and the most important is the corrosion resistance. Like the metals MMC or a concrete matrix composite, which is a cementitious based system, though it enhances the property of a polymer, of a product, but it has a one tendency, and that tendency is the corrosion. Whereas in plastics, what we do, the PMCs, which are the plastic matrix composite, in that case, there is no corrosion occur to that material. It's a corrosion resistance based material. Cost wise, if you see it into an particulate and all these type as compared to MMC and the concrete, we are quite a low. So these are the advantages. Only a basic disadvantage any polymer composite gives is a low thermal resistance. Coefficient of expansion, you leave it on. The coefficient of expansion is related to, like, whenever you apply a certain service temperature to that material, it will withstand certain temperature, and after that it immediately becomes degraded. It don't melt and then gives you a certain it will start charring. So that stability which we discussed on, that is related to a disadvantage. Then this matrix composite, interfacial adhesion we have talked about. Okay. Now, in terms of the reinforcement in particle format, that is also a one great area to be discussed on. Though we call it as an each particle is of the same nature, but practically it is not. Certain has a spherical shape, certain has a cubic shape, certain has a plated shape, certain has an irregular geometry, certain has a needle shape, certain has a star shape. Though it looks like a particle, but that particle shape and the particle size is very, very important to be considered while making it a composite. I'll just throw you one example, then logically you can think of and tell me. We are making it a particle-based composite, a thermoplastic particle-based composite. Consider that we are adding certain mineral-based reinforcement, a filler type material. One material has a spherical shape and another material has a plate shape. Which one will give you a better improvement in a mechanical properties? One, let me repeat it. One composite, you are using one matrix is a thermoplastic body, considered that HDP or LDP, whichever polyethylene. You have added a filler to it, a filler type of reinforcement. One is having a shape of a spherical one, globular one, circle shape. Another one is a plate shape. So one is a spherical, another is a plate shape. Which one will give you higher in its mechanical? Yes, Mr. Vinod.
Sir, I believe a spherical shape would be much more better to process.
One part, Mr. Vinod Khatri, here will see it like which one will be better for processing is another. Which one will give you the higher mechanical one? A spherical one or a plated
Uh,
The black one is will give more strength.
You feel so the plated one will, a plate one will give you a better strength. Okay, one answer
sir.
which we got from Mr. Mithu Prasad is like a plate one will give you a better strength. Yes, Mr. Vinod, you wish to say something?
no, I was concerned about it, the spherical one when we process it with a basic polymer. So I believe that would be much more easier. But about the strength part, I'm a little confused, sir.
No worry, Mr. Vinod. If you are confused, also no worries. We are here to resolve it at best, which we could be. But what your logic goes, if you think and give and speak about, then we can say that your mind speaks that way. whatever it is a right or wrong, it's latter part. no? Yes, rest of the people in the class.
So if you talk about the platelet one, do you think if we go to the mechanical aspect, if the stretch factor is more in the platelet one, it would be more it would be better property in that. If we talk
Can
about
you
the stretch
pardon me,
factor.
please, Mr. Vinod?
If we are talking about the platelet one, if we opt for the platelet one, if it is a better option, so do we assume that the stretch factor will be much more better in that?
Which factor?
The stretch factor.
The stress factor.
Yeah, the stretch.
Stretch
How
factor. Okay. The
stretch factor,
stretch
yeah.
factor will be better. Okay. Maybe at
I
this
assume
moment.
that.
Yeah, I do agree. I've recorded your answer onto this. We are just now collecting few of the logics from the class. Let's see how we'll get it, and then we'll discuss it on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Platelet, I feel.
Platelet, Mr. Kishore is also with you, Mr. Vinod. No, sorry, with Mr. Mithu Prasad. Yes. A few more people can say something so we can discuss it on. I mean, rather than you all have been getting it, no? I mean, what we are feeling interesting to know certain concepts in plastics.
Good evening, sir. I
Good
think
evening,
the
sir.
I think the spherical one reinforcement particle could be more effective because they could fit in to the between the bonds pretty well than other geometrical shapes.
Okay, Mr. Sharan. One is the spherical one will fit in a proper way in the matrix in the composite part, and it will give the better strength over the plated one. Is your answer? Right. Many people are, Mr. Karan.
Yes, sir. So the platelet one will give the better mechanical result because in spherical one, if for example there is a two sphere, if you want to join together, so there will be some gap between them.
Exactly. So we always go with the plated option more to enhancement of the mechanical properties, because spherical one, if the two spheres, if you keep it adjacent to each other, there is always a gap between the spherical one, and there the matrices goes in, but there is always the contact surface with the two spherical one is not that high as compared to the plated one. The plated one, the contact surface will be much larger as compared to spherical, and due to which it will be much better for load bearing. It will be work like a laminated one. That's why the plated one will give you a good mechanical properties in terms of a particulate based composite. Mr. Sharang, you agree with this?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah, answer with your spherical. So plated is considered to be a preferred one. I am not saying like, because see, the mineral is also a naturally occurring material. So some of the minerals at its original shape and size, if it comes into a spherical format, you won't be able to change into the plated format. But given a choice, you can always consider it to be a plated one, a choice of you to be good at it. And definitely, as if I'm not wrong, who talks about the processability? Spherical one processability.
I spoke about it.
You spoke about it. Yeah. So, Mr. Vinod, yes, the spherical one, the processability is good, better because it will slide over very easily. So as it is slide over very easily, the material will move faster, but that becomes the drawback into a load bearing capacity. Can you with me on this?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Spherical one can be used for making soft material or sort of.
Yeah, the spherical one, like sort of the softer material, or not a very high requirement of a load bearing capacity. There you can even select the spherical one. Yes, Mr. Kishore, that is one option you can keep. But given option out of these two, supposed to go with the plated one. Then this we have talked about. This becomes your cross-linking elastomers, and disperse phase. This we have discussed. Then now one part which we haven't discussed in particulate one, there we will be nearly completing our composite portion. So now we talked about the shape of a filler or shape of a material, but we didn't discuss anything related to the size of a material. So we need to discuss here related to the size of a material. So the size of a material, one requirement, the mandatory requirement whenever you selected any material or you procured any material for reinforcement action, the average particle size should have the very narrow window. Maximum numbers of particles available in that filler or in that reinforcement should be of same size. It should not like one should have the smaller one, another will be a bigger one. So though whatever the shape you have selected, there will be a disturbance in their dispersion mechanism. So always to be select a size which might be a very uniform size throughout, and due to uniform size, if your processing is good, you could disperse that material uniformly throughout the product. So not only to be think in terms of the shape, but while buying a material for reinforcement or while selecting a material for reinforcement for your production purposes, you need to check it the average particle size of that material. They say that we have the 20 micron material, but 20 micron material is an average particle size or a very idealistic test. They have made it a 20 micron ka size. So on the very idealistic way, they must have been characterized that material which is of 20, but there is always a combination of 60 to 20 micron, any size is happening in between. And then, so please look into a average particle size. An average particle size will not be a one single unit. It will be always a range, maybe a 20 to 25, maybe a 25 to 30, whatever, but that window should be smaller. As window will be smaller, you will have it and particles like this. Most of them of the same size, few may be a smaller, or few may be a slightly bigger, but there won't be a drastic difference in the shape. Are you with me on this particle size on?
It is for processing visibility and uniform strength distribution.
Yes, Mr. Kishore, it is related to more influence on processability. You are perfectly right. And second one is the stress distribution. Your stress distribution mechanical properties will be uniform throughout the product. And I do agree the processability will not have any issue with it. Now, just to because reinforcement, what we are talking about, matrix we are talking about, there is a one name here comes, which is called as a nano. So, do you wish to know something on nano materials, or we can go ahead with just a average particle size and all, or you want to know something about nano?
No, sir. Please explain nano.
Nano.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People are ready to listen about or to discuss it about a nanomaterials, because nanomaterial or nanotechnology is something which everybody must have been heard about. We have the nanotechnology driven product, we have the nanomaterials. Here that particular company has been working into a nanotechnology. That kind of terminology must have been heard by you many times, right? So what is your say? We might be in very rudimentary level, maybe a very basic, whatever you have heard upon. What do you mean, or what do you say about when you talked about a nano?
Very small, sir. Very small.
Very small. Okay. The material which is quite a small is called as a nano. Okay. Do I agree? Anyone else? A few of the names which, yes, Mr. Karan.
So it's like an IC circuit. We know that in IC circuit of computer system, there are thousands or 10 millions of capacitors, resistors, conductors for that, for processing the actually processing the compilation of a program or anything. It's like it, like that's a nano. Therefore, Elon Musk is using this for making it a nano chip for the brain implantation.
Good. Okay. Okay. You are into an IT field or what?
Yes, sir. I am into the IT field, but I have an industry of a polymer of PP raffia. We are making a cement bags and exporting to Canada, USA, etc.
What's the company name, Mr. Karan?
Sir, Ma Sharda Polymer.
Mass?
Sir, Ma Sharda Polymer.
Ma Sharda Polymers. Where you produced it, this raffias?
Sir, in Jabalpur, MP, Madhya Pradesh.
Ajay, you are located there itself.
Yes, sir. We have a plant purchase the raw material of PPC. We have a CC plant for that.
Okay.
We
Great.
make the cement bag for ACC Ultratech.
Okay, good. So I think so. The another one probably that is Pallavi or some, but they are also in Rafias or something, right? I don't know, because some questions are being asked on Rafias. Okay. So from the IT field, you know, the great capacitors and everything is based
Sir,
on.
I am doing the CS from BTech. I'm doing the BTech Engineering of Computer Science.
You have done a com science. Okay,
Yes, I'm
great.
doing, sir. So
You are doing it. You
Yes,
are
sir.
doing it. Where,
Yes,
where
sir.
in MP?
Yes, sir, in MP, sir, in Jabalpur, in my hometown.
Yeah, great field. No doubt about it. Good. Everybody is liking field, or rather liking or wish field. I don't know whether they liked it or no, but wish field is to be a computer engineer nowadays, right?
So it's a future, means it's a future business, sir. We know that every technology has been.
Yeah, I do agree. We based on to an utilization of the IT and artificial neural networks and all, and makes our life easy. Yes, do agree. But back to the class of a nano now. So that is one area where it goes in. Anybody else wants to say something on nano? This people, those who are working in pharma packaging and all, probably knows. Miss Rupali, you are from packaging division, right?
Yeah, I'm in PET.
Yeah, so you must have heard this nanotechnology or something.
No, sir.
No, okay, good.
Actually, sir, can I speak, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead, Mr. Mitra Prasad.
Nanotechnology means, sir, this is a very advanced technology.
Hmm.
Generally, I'm facing a dispersion problem.
Yes.
So when
great.
particle size is nano, I'm getting my machine, my customer machine running very smooth. That's not
Okay.
blocking their screen.
Oh,
So
yes.
that is that like they like a nanoparticle based material.
Yes.
But in my end, I'm facing dispersion problem, sir.
Acha, you are using nanomaterials.
Yeah, nano calcium carbonate
Okay, for what product you have been using it,
for
nanomaterial?
the filler master batch.
Film master batch. Oh,
Filler,
Filler master
antifibrillation. Yeah,
Oh.
for Rafia.
for Rafia. Oh, many people have the background of Rafia in the class. Good.
Yeah, yes.
So,
But-
great.
But hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir. But in some applications, like in case of carbon black, when we are using nanoparticles, that dispersion is very difficult, and the processing also very difficult.
Yes.
Need more lubricants. So it will depend upon the material.
Yes.
Calcium is no doubt nanoparticles is suitable for Rafia applications and multi-layer film applications, and mechanical property also good when we are using nanoparticles filler master batch. But
Yes.
in certain other applications like carbon black, they are
Yeah.
very difficult to disperse nanoparticles.
Yes. So ultimately, there are many difficulty in utilization of this nanomaterial in plastic industry, right? So even what you people are been thinking of, even I am also of the same opinion. Mr. Karan has said about an electronic or the IT based companies are been using it. I have seen it a certain applications in medicals or biomedical application, certain into the food industry, the nanotechnology works. But I have seen it a very few examples commercially could able to reach to an end of nanotechnology based products. Even in ICT, I worked on synthesis of nanomaterials and characterization and all, because nanotechnology, my first acquaintation goes when I've after my PhD program, I've been to Rutgers in New Jersey for my further studies, which was on nanotechnology. So I really was fascinated about it, and to be take it upon in plastics and paints and polymer industry that way. But seems to be it quite a difficult to be put it as a commercial example of nano. Why it is so, we will discuss it slightly later, because it is related to again a reinforcement. Nanomaterial are giving extraordinary reinforcement. It is giving you an extraordinary high strength to a material. However, there are certain difficulties which is related to, are being said in the class by Mr. Mittu Prasad or Mr. Sanjay Kumar, is all are related to the dispersion part. It is definitely, yes, it is there. Why it is so? The material which has one of the dimension, the material which has one of the dimension of 10 to the power minus 9 meter scale is called as a nanomaterial. So please keep in back of your mind is like one of the dimension should be into that scale. I have not said all three dimensions should be of that size, because you have the nanorods, you have the nanofibers. So nanofibers is like the diameter or the thickness of the fiber is into nano, probably length is not. Probably rather length is not. So one of the dimension from XYZ coordinate, one of the dimension is into 10 to the power minus 9 meter becomes a nanomaterial. So any material which is having such a dimension is nano. Now, as consider that you have a one cube, which you divided into a number of pieces. Definitely you are reducing its size. So as you reduce the size, your surface area enhances, because one individual cube has its own surface area. So collectively all the cubes becomes more surface area than that of you have cutted from consider that 250 grams of paneer, which you cut into a pieces, a cubical format, it's like more surface of paneer which is being used or which is being available as compared to a one block. That is nothing but an the nanomaterials are. Whereas in nanomaterials, once this size has reduced to that low dimension, it has a great difficulty in plastics to keep the dimensions intact, because the thickness is supposed into a nano dimension. But if you don't put another material next to it, the other particle of a nano will stick to that material and it becomes micron based material. So though you have added a nanomaterial inside, you ultimately land up by doing it and processing, you convert it into a micronized material. So this nano converting to a nano, it has a great difficulty in dispersion. And why that dispersion? Because the larger surface area. The larger surface area which you have, that is not allowing that material to keep a gap in between. Another surface will stick to it. As it will be a larger surface area, it has a larger affinity to come to closer. And as it comes to closer, it becomes a micro material. And as that process is happening while processing, so your plastic is not going in between, and that's why you are finding it a difficulty. And as you could not able to keep that material at distance level at nanoscale, your enhancement in properties will not get. Probably at Mr. Mithu Prasad or Mr. Sanjay Kumar, who has tried to disperse this material, ultimately at the end of the product, if you test it for this property, probably you could not have got the significant improvement. It must be a very marginal improvement. Am I right, Mr. Mithu Prasad and Mr. Sanjay Kumar onto this?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
हाँ, तो अल्टीमेटली ऐसा लगता है कि why we have added the nano, though it is giving a very little improvement, right?
Yes.
So any material can give that improvement. Why to put it as so expensive material? Because dispersion becomes very difficult. Dispersion of this material at the solution phase is very good. You utilize a nanomaterial and suspend into a water or some liquid media, you are getting an extraordinary effects into nano. So that's why in printing inks, that's why into and certain kinds of dyes, in certain kinds of colorants, you are finding it this nanotechnology is working well in polymer and coating industry. Rest of the application, I have seen it, it could not see a right light as far as the commercialization is concerned. So that kind of reinforcement is also available, but nano means not all three dimensions in nano. Otherwise, don't think it like, otherwise you could have not able to see the material. You have seen it, the material you have added into the plastic. So agar uska dimension, all three dimension of XYZ coordinates are into a nano size, you would have not seen by naked eye, because naked eye cannot see the nano. Because nano dimensions we can't see, we can see the micronized. We would have seen it only in microscopic images, but we could able to see the material because one of the dimension is nano, rest of the things is normal as usual. And that one dimension, maybe certain times it is a diameter, certain times it is a thickness. So that's why the carbon nanotubes, the tube's length are not into nano, the diameter of the tube is into nano, or thickness of the tube is into a nano. And that way, dispersing this material with certain drugs, certain molecules, which gives you a drug delivery well. So in drug delivery system, where you take a certain pill or certain tablet, it will prolong for a longer period of time because it will release slowly. Why it is so? Because the drugs are sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, sometimes is based on synthesis of nanomaterials. So that is something which is related to the nano. Nano in depth, if I need to go, it becomes more technicality in terms of diffraction patterns and so on and so forth. So just to give you a brief onto a nano, I thought like in reinforcement, I can just introduce the concept of nano to you. So working on nanotechnology for commercial application, if you have a niche application, extraordinary requirement and you could able to disperse, then only you can get the right set of product. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to work it onto a nanotechnology, at least in plastics and coatings. Any more requirements of explanation is needed by you all, or we can move back to the class of our reinforcement and composite. Okay. So from this, we have come like a nano part. So when we need to discuss it onto a nano, that time like one of the dimension into nano, not like all three dimensions supposed to be in nano. So that way it is like a nano based material, and that's why I thought that to give you an introductory part to the nano. Then fibers may be a continuous type, discontinuous type, and a randomly based type that we have seen it. Certain processing techniques by which you can make it a composite. This is handlap, which is this has been a requirement for thermoset industry, where people are using it for epoxy, polyesters, phenol formaldehydes, melamine formaldehydes. People are doing it in handlap based technology. Individual processing techniques, you have it in your paper number 2. That's why I'm not giving you the details of the process here, but just giving you some idea where these composites can be manufactured. Then spray is also another application by which you can go. Another is a vacuum bagging is also one of the process by which you can form the composite or FRPs. Filament windings are another class where you go for the composite. You have the core on which you wound the filament, and this core is also a plastic body, and you take it as this reinforcement onto it. And if you impregnate with the plastic or a resin, it is give you a extraordinary high strength. Then pultrusion is another case, resin transfer molding and certain applications too. The better application here you can visualize for composite material. These all products are made out of an PMCs, which is a plastic mineral composites, or otherwise sometimes we are been using it and certain graphite or a carbon fibers, a very high reinforcement activity fibers are incorporated into a frame to form a composite. So this is the composite bit material which has a fiber with the plastics, hockey stick, then a bicycle ribs or the frames are being made out of it. Then many reinforcement in terms of industrial textiles material where nylons, polyesters, aramide, carbon fibers are been going into, and that way these all are related to your plastics composite. In medical application, few of it which are been doing it, it's the fiber composites, the artificial tooth tunnel also been made on. This particular application, which is called as an mineral trioxide aggregates, MTA, which currently we are been synthesizing in ICT's lab with certain research student of mine, where we are synthesizing. This is the pictures which are synthesizing a mineral based composite, which has a certain binders into it, which you feel it as a tooth filling material. The root canal, after root canal, the material which you filled it, it's a composite material. And that composite material, it's a mineral plus certain resin, certain plastics. And on the basis of the moisture, it gets cured. Or nowadays, if you just apply a UV light onto your tooth, it will get cured. So that way it is called as an plastic mineral based composite again. And that is more or less bismuth oxide, the more or less trioxides which are being used into a formulation of this material, and which we generally call it in open market is called as a tooth cement or a dental cement, which you just mix it with the water and fill it in the tooth and it gets set. But this is nothing but a composite. So till time we have discussed it on a composite part, and we have completed your composite part. Do you have any difficulty in composite part? Please do ask me. Then, if you wish to move on, then we can go with the polymer flow behaviors. Any composite activity, or we can even, no, it's 8, 10, 8, 20, I don't know. You wish to move, you could able to digest it more on polymer flow, or we should take it into tomorrow's class? Should I continue with polymer flow behaviors, or we can stop it here and tomorrow's class we can take it? Because if you can understand that part, then only we can move forward. Just to covering up the syllabus will not.
Better, sir. Flow behavior we study tomorrow, sir.
No problem.
Because one day everything will be very.
Okay. No, because Mr. Mithu Prasad, what my aim is to make you interesting, make you understandable. I'm trying to do it so. At the end, I don't know everybody is feeling that way or no. But yes, my aim is that way. Putting it everything on the one day just to complete the time for 10-15 minutes
Yes,
more.
sir. Take it tomorrow.
Yeah, Sonic, we will do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. No worries.
Actually, sir, I joined pretty late at around 7:30. I was in the office. Will this recording be available after the lecture?
Yeah, even this problem we have addressed initially only. These recordings are been available with Indian Plastic Institute office with Mr. Sandeep Shinde. He is going to percolate to you all via email or something. That is the IPI's office work, which he will do it.
Okay, sir. And about this reinforcement, I had some doubt. How is this reinforcement or a filler added in a polymer? Like, how is it bond?
It's the process of compounding. It's process of extrusion which you utilize for mixing this material as a filler. And even to fibers are also, there are certain extrusion process available which you can pass the fiber to a extruder, and sometimes it's a co-extrusion technique or into a single extrusion system. And in thermosets, the processes are like hand lap and all other, which we have just showed the pictures.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You all are been feeling at least a bit of interest in plastics in terms of lecturing is concerned, or what it is?
Yes, sir. Like 60-40. Interest is still coming up, increasing day by day.
Okay. Because I tried to make it my slides for every day, just some customization I do to make you people more connect to each other. I mean, to a topic. I don't know. Yes, Mr. Karan.
So now I thought why I have taken the computer science engineering.
Okay. See, that is always a case if you find it, but you have a great opportunity to work in the plastics, Mr. Karan, right? But only thing is like your IT industry, if you ask to people, those who are into professionals into plastics is also a very wide field and a very vast field. You need to be a study in plastics and polymers now and then only you can get the advancement. That days has gone when you have a certain fixed protocol, you mix the material and make it and sell it. Nowadays, that kind of stuff people are not requiring. People want it and something, a uniqueness in your product. So you need to study a plastics or polymer engineering. And I think so as you have the business into this, so you can do that way. You can carry forward with this. Your engineering will give you the logics to think on, no? Whether it is for computers or polymers, it hardly matters. Definitely, certain terminologies you need to know, but engineering graduates, like what I have been done it in polymers, you are into an IT or computers. It builds the logic. Basically, engineering courses builds the logic. The subjects of mathematics or whatever. You are in which year of engineering now?
So third year.
So you are into an M1, M2 must be covered in your.
Yes, sir. In first year, I have covered M1, M2, M3.
Yeah, so you have gone up to the Laplace, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this vector Laplace and all seems to be a very difficult or not required or something, but it builds your logic. So it's good. Anyway, so not kill a time for all people here, which is at the end of the day. So definitely tomorrow at 6:30 again. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sir,
Thank you,
what
sir.
about Friday?
Yeah, Mr. Rupali.
Friday?
Tomorrow will be a class, and then I think so as per timetable, you have the class on 21st directly, right?
Okay.
Yes, sir. It is on 21st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today we didn't had any answers or any comments from you, Ms. Rupali. Probably you was busy with some work today or whatever, I don't know.
डोक्यावरनं जाते थोडंसं.
डोक्यावरनं जातंय. Anyway, if it is the case, please, that's why I'm saying you stop me anytime. And because I really want you all people should be always with the plastics. And that's why I'm saying like whatever best I could able to do. And you suggest me like what I should supposed to change in my delivery system or addressing system. You can suggest me, I can do that. Anyway, so take a leave of you tomorrow 6:30. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
sir.
Good night,
Thanks.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.